Appreciate y'all coming. Seems like a long time since we played a game, and we still got over a week before we actually get to play. The good part about it is we're practicing, and Thursday we'll start to game prep. So practices will change starting Thursday. Thursday is basically Monday in the preparation period. But right now we're still working mostly on us against us, and that's the good deal. The bad deal is when you have this much time on your hands, you watch more and more film, and the more film I watch, the better they get. So I think that 1 week of preparation before you play most games is probably plenty for a coach. When you got 3 weeks, basically 3 weeks to prepare for a team, you see more and more things that they do well, and I don't know if that's good on my psyche or not. But obviously we're getting a lot out of these first 2 weeks, developing our team for next year, basically.
Rocky, when you had a bye week in mid-season, you came back and you choked Boise State. The bye week, huge in terms of creating different things that you can do to stop the other guys?
No, not really. The bye week is more about getting guys healthy. Guys that are playing beat up, guys that maybe haven't played some because of an injury or two. So most of the time after a bye week, everybody gets over the bumps and bruises, and they're a little bit fresher to play. Now, the way we've been practicing the last 2 weeks, I'm not sure that's going to be the case here because we've been actually going through spring ball. And our last spring practice will be today, and then we'll actually start getting ready to play the game.
And looking at all that film, and they keep getting better, what specifically do you see that?
Well, you have the opinion that they're a run team first, which they have been late in the season, and they've been really, really good at it. And then you go back earlier in the season because you go back to try to find out who played the best defense against them early in the season. And what I found out as I went earlier in the season, the quarterback is really, really accurate with the football. Earlier in the season, they weren't running it quite as well, so he had to throw it more, and they still were able to win games because he threw it so well. Late in the season, they're running the ball so well that they haven't relied on the passing game as much. So if you put both halves of the season together, they can do both, which obviously makes it a lot harder on
you. Where do they put the most stress on your defense? Is it at the front? Is it the linebackers? Is it being a step slow, trying to read what they run?
It's now this sounds old school, but it is, and I think it is at all levels. It's always up front. If you control the line of scrimmage on offense or defense, your chances of winning the game are much, much better. And I mean controlling the line of scrimmage against the run as well as rushing a passer. If you're talking about our defensive line, we've got to control the run and still be able to play zone coverages, which puts a bunch of pressure on your defensive linemen. But then if they want to throw it, those same guys have to get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, it's the same kind of pressure we try to put on other people's defense. You want to put 8 guys, 9 guys up there to stop the run? Well, we got all these one-on-one situations out there. Let's throw it. So if they don't want to take a one-on-one situation, they have to play zone coverage, which means you rush 4 guys and try to get pressure on the quarterback. It's always up front. Now, if up front is equal, if the two sides are pretty equal and they compete on an even level up front, now the skill guys decide who wins. Skill guys don't decide who wins if one side of the ball or the other dominates the line of scrimmage. I saw it this weekend. Chicago Bears. Everybody's patting the LA Rams on the back about how wonderful they are on offense, and they do all these amazing things on offense, and nobody can stop them. Who stopped them?
Punched it in the mouth.
Yeah, the guys that dominated the line of scrimmage, punched them right in the mouth. They didn't score any points. So it always first of all is up front. If you dominate the line of scrimmage, you're going to win. When it's even up front, that's when all those other guys matter. The other guys decide who wins after it's decided it's even up front.
What would you call their offense? Would you call it veer? Would you call it?
No, they're a spread offense. Now they will get into some two tight end formations, but they're not any kind of option team. They'll run a little speed option, which means the quarterback carries the ball, and then if you tackle him, he pitches it to a pitchback. But they don't read the line of scrimmage. They're a zone read spread team. So when he hands it to when he rides the running back into the line of scrimmage, he's reading someone at the line of scrimmage. If that guy closes, the quarterback keeps it. If that guy doesn't close, he hands it to the running back. Now they use also that action for play action pass too. So they want to run it because they want to control the clock and they want to control the ball. But they're in a spread formation so they can throw it all over the park if they want to. And early in the season, they had to in a couple games, and they threw it really, really well.
Is there anything about their defense that's cause for concern for you, for your offense?
Other than all those teams in that league are very physical up front. They're not going to fool us unless they put in a different defense. I mean, they line up pretty standard in standard formations at the line of scrimmage, and they play pretty standard coverages. But they're very physical up front on both offense and defense. They're very physical, and they execute well. We're a little bit different on defense. We move guys, we blitz guys, we do all that kind of stuff to try to confuse the other team. They don't do that. They just execute well.
Rocky, as far as your quarterbacks go for the bowl game, is it going to be all Christian because it's his last game, a little bit of both because you want to prepare Agnew for next year? Do you have a plan for the quarterbacks going on?
It's going to be the same as we spent the last half of the season. Christian will start. Ryan will play in the game somewhere along the way, and whichever quarterback we think gives us the best chance to win, that's who will finish it out.
Rocky, how hard has it been to play one senior in the offensive line and 4 young pups? And have you seen progress, or has it just been a struggle?
Well, I think that that didn't bother us at all going into the season because the young guys coming back had some experience. And because of injury and some other things that have happened, I don't think our offensive line played to the expectation level that we had going into the season. And that's one of the reasons we didn't score as many points. Now, some of it had to do with Juwan getting hurt and Christian getting hurt. And I mean, you can point to all kinds of things. But I think the offensive line with injuries and such probably didn't play as well as we thought they would. But they're almost all coming back, so there's a chance they'll play much, much better next year.
These two schools kind of carbon copies of each other, pound it, play defense?
I think our philosophies are the same. The way we go about it's not even close to the same. I mean, they're almost exclusively a one-back formation team, and we're a two-back formation team. But the philosophy is we want to run the ball first. We want to keep the ball away from the other team. We want to use field position and time of possession to give us the best chance to win. I think the philosophies are very similar. The way we go about it's completely different.
Anything else for Coach?
What do you think is the key?
Well, I already told you the key is how well you play at the line of scrimmage. Whoever plays the best at the line of scrimmage is going to win the game. And that's both sides of the ball. I mean, that's offense and defense.
Is there anybody you would compare Ohio's package to somebody else you've played this year?
I mean, we've played several teams that have similar scheme. I think the similar scheme, I don't think the teams we've played with similar schemes aren't near as patient as Ohio is. I mean, Nevada runs a similar scheme. New Mexico runs a similar scheme. UNLV runs a similar scheme. But those schools aren't as patient as these guys. These guys will take 3- and 4-yard gains in the running game and be very happy with it. Where those teams I'm talking about, if you only getting 3 or 4 yards running the ball, they just assume throw it. These guys are a lot more patient.